So, you want to be a table tennis coach. All right. Well, there's a few things you want to think about before you really take the plunge, and I want to address a few of them. A lot of times people are held back from coaching because they feel like maybe I'm just not good enough a player. Maybe I'm an average player, and I really envision myself coaching and gaining the respect of players that would beat me most of the time. So that might be one of the major obstacles you might have to get past when you're deciding to coach. You may not coach the highest level players, but you might also turn out to be a very good coach for those people. It turns out that everybody that's a great player is not necessarily a great coach. Obviously, you have to be competent in your playing skills. You've got to be able to hit the ball consistently, be able to block, push, do all the major strokes, and demonstrate the major strokes. You're probably going to need to learn how to feed multi-ball, things like that. I think one of the things you really want to look for as a coach is that you would be a real student of the game. Keep up with it. Don't be locked into theories about table tennis that are 20, 30 years old. Some of those still apply, but some of them may have changed and evolved. The game has changed. Some things about equipment may have changed. There's a lot to know, but if the only thing that's holding you back is that you feel like maybe you're just not a good enough player, if that's the only thing, that may not be the best reason not to do it. So you could still be a very good coach, and you could be a coach for certain types of players. You sort of need to find your niche. And I know a coach who lives close by who really doesn't like to coach adults, and he's looking for kids that he can develop and start from scratch and really make them the best possible players they can be. Somebody that's willing to devote a lot of time and several years to really become a high-level player. I take a little different approach. I will coach any age, but I'm frequently coaching people that will only do this once a week. I'm trying to get them competitive, that they can enjoy playing, improve, but get to the point where they can walk into a table tennis club and hold their own, and continue to develop and continue to enjoy the game. The highest level players that I have to approach a little differently. I have to work a little bit harder physically and really try to gear things towards those players. But like I said, you just have to find out what types of players do you enjoy coaching, what types of players are going to be drawn to your style of coaching, and doesn't mean that you have to be just like the other coaches in your area. In fact, there might be a real market for the type of coach that you are, that might specialize in certain age groups, certain levels of play. Maybe you're really good with beginners and a lot of other coaches don't have the patience for that. Or maybe you're looking to only coach players who have already developed to a certain stage and you want to get them to the next level and maybe get them competitive to where they're winning tournaments. It just really depends, but there's something for everybody in that arena of coaching, and it's just a matter of finding where you fit in. So if you're going to take up coaching, there's a couple things you really need. Surprisingly, the thing that holds back a lot of coaches from reaching their full potential and getting a good stock of students is having a place to coach. If you don't have a table that you can use just about any time you can get to it, then you're going to have a problem. I mean, fortunately, I've got a good coaching area. I've got 2 tables where I don't have to pay rent to get to use them, and that's a huge advantage for me. So you've got to first decide, am I comfortable coaching? You know, is this something I can do? Have I tried it? Have I done it? Some people just naturally want to teach, and sometimes they'll teach you even when you don't want to be taught. But there's a lot of players out there that need coaching, need a training partner, are looking for some help, and coaches are not all that easy to find, and training partners are even harder to find. So there's a market out there, more than likely, if you've got a place where you can do some coaching, and then if people know how to find you. And this is not the kind of thing where you can go out and put a billboard out on the expressway, table tennis coach in your area. Probably won't do much for you. However, if you put a good website on the internet and you make it where people that are looking for a coach could easily find you by just Googling table tennis coach in my area, and your name would come up, then they'll find you. And it's you know, it may depend a lot on what part of the world you're living in, but I found that once I had a presence on the internet, that's where I got most of my students. So there's a lot that goes into really becoming a good coach, and I feel like I'm a much better coach than I was 5 years ago, and a whole lot better coach than I was 10 years ago. But you can learn from your students. It's very rewarding, and again, being a good player does not necessarily make you a good coach, but if you've got a good foundation of the basics of table tennis and you like to share that and you feel confident that you could help players, maybe coaching is for you. And I would make one other suggestion. You have to find the right price range. When I started coaching, I was probably charging half of what other coaches were in the area, and I felt it was fair, and I was able to do it. Like I said, I wasn't paying rent for the tables I got, and that, even though I was charging much less, I was getting a lot more students, and that goes with it sometimes. So you got to find out, are you looking to charge a small enough fee that you'll get students, or are you looking to charge a whole lot more and just focus on a small handful of students? As time went on, I raised my prices some, and still probably charging less than most coaches are, but I've never had any problem with keeping a good number of students. Some people have stuck with me for 5-6 years, and I continue to get new people coming in all the time. So if you've ever thought about coaching, perhaps it's something that you could do that you really hadn't thought that it was possible. But it really is, if you've got just the basic things you need. All right, thanks a lot. I hope you'll include some comments. Let me know what you think. Appreciate it.